whatever we choose for the second pickup, I think that's going to need to be bought first.
Okay.
And then we'll have to
Okay.
budget in some money for the bigger, better one next year.
We're live. Don't adjust your TV sets. There is no video again today because I didn't have time to get the camera set up. But the audio should be live and recording.
Good.
Perfect. Those people can hear us.
Should be able to.
Is there people on? Is that, that's not,
It doesn't work that way anymore.
yeah,
Yep.
that's fine. Double check it.
So then for recognizing visitors,
thank you.
we just need to do whoever's here.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, we're about right on schedule. 5:06. I'd like to call the special meeting to order on August 4th, 2021. We're here to meet about the Adams Street funding decision for our street project. Visitors, we have Steve Marsh here with us. And I will just turn it over to you, Steve. I understood you talked with the council a little bit last meeting. I was absent.
Yes. we did.
Do you guys have any further questions, I guess, or anything else?
Well, the only question I had is, refresh us, we do have the opportunity or the ability to put this off and rebid it, or push forward with what we have, correct?
You can reject bids,
Right.
but the downfall of that one is if we go back out and re-advertise for bids and they come in higher than what you have now, you're gonna have to take it.
Right.
And then we're on the hook for that difference.
Yeah, you're on the look for the additional amount.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there was something with the state, they would get a little ticked off at
Yeah.
us if we,
Yes. They can't come out and say this, but pretend we go down the road, we re-advertise, it comes in higher, re-advertise again, it comes even in higher, and you guys go, no, we're done. TIB would likely ask you to reimburse them for all of their engineering money they have put forward in this project.
okay.
They'd pull the money you have remaining back, and it would likely be a while before you guys ever got any more grant funding to do any more street projects.
Thanks, I just wanted to lay out.
No,
refresh-
that's fine.
Refresher,
No, that's
what
fine.
we're up against.
So most likely we'd be out the money either way.
If we didn't end up taking the money or we waited a year.
Well, I can tell you right now, because the number we're kind of looking at for a budget is 10% roughly of the lowest bid amount. And I'm
Mhm.
just going to round out to $25,000. I guarantee you that we have spent more than $25,000 on the engineering side.
Okay.
And as far as change orders, I think that's what you referred to.
And quantity overruns, but anyway, go ahead.
Overruns, yes. Your best estimate, I think at the last meeting you mentioned you didn't foresee a whole lot. I think you picked like 25,000. It's kind of a ballpark.
I usually go 10%,
Yeah.
10% of the lowest bid amount.
Right.
That's what you should have budgeted.
Can you give us a history of this project? I've forgotten when it started, Steve.
Well, that's a really good question, Peter. So we applied, I think it was in 2019 for the Adams Street project. Got it on the first time. And I think last year we did design on it. Making sure I got my numbers right. Because then we came out later on just barely this year, and advertised it for the first time. So we started working on 2019, I think. It could be last year. I'm getting my projects all mixed up.
You have a lot more than I do, and I can't even keep them straight. So
Yeah, there was two bidders on this project
Correct.
total.
The second one, the low one was around
240, wasn't it? 230?
244, I think. But I can grab it right here. Yeah, the lowest one was 245,000. The second high was 269,000.
Right. And your expert advice or opinion, people right now, I mean, the way the market, the way the construction and everything's going, you don't foresee it tapering off and if we did a rebid, it'd be a shot at the moon. I mean, that would not probably happen.
If I could predict that, I'd be living in a yacht in the
Yeah.
Mediterranean.
Which, I mean, you've seen a lot of construction going.
Yeah.
Everybody's busy, everybody's either behind the 8 ball, can't find people, so you
I mean,
won't get any cheaper.
No, if everything trends the way it is now, that's a big if. Yeah, it's going to get more expensive. But there's always that thing that could happen that all of a sudden a lot of this stuff goes away. It's a gamble.
I would say those are quite the odds to play right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a gamble.
And we say yes to this, start date is when? Like,
I'm going to guess 2, maybe 3 weeks. We may.
yeah, it was really close.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a long project. It's not going to take very long. They're going to hammer right through it.
Okay.
Actually, it may take a little bit longer than that now that I think about it, because the contractor has to obtain permission and a permit through BNSF.
Oh, the railroad, okay.
Yeah.
I will say I've been talking to some community members about it, just out of curiosity, seeing how they'd feel. They all told me you need to just spend the money and get it done. I said, we realize that money's coming out of your pocket, and they said yes. They said, but the street needs to be fixed. Just the city needs to just do it. So, from the
Yeah, I think we
5 or
have-
6 people I've talked to, that was the
Consensus?
consensus.
Good to know that we'll have allies when the next rate increase
Exactly.
discussion comes up.
Exactly.
I would just hate to lose the funding permanently
Right.
and
Right.
or take that chance, whatever the percentage might be of rebidding, and then we're further in the hole.
And
on
the
hook
likelihood
for
is we're
more
going to be
money.
out money either way. So if we're going to spend money, we might as well spend it on the project than have to give it to somebody and get nothing in return.
Yeah.
One question I have has to do with the funding of it. Can you walk us through what budgetary steps will take place if we move ahead and accept this? Do we have a fund, for example, a street improvement fund?
Yes.
And how
Yep.
much is in it? I've forgotten.
It's a good question of what's in there now.
I think at our last meeting, we addressed some of that, and I think there's enough to cover that. We're figuring like 25. I think the magic number, the estimate was like 25%, or 25,000. excuse me. Could be.
But a big majority of this, obviously, is grant funding through TIB. And the portion that we would have to cover.
I think there was something that could have been moved around.
Yeah, and we're
we
gonna have to
talked
move
about
money
it.
around just for other other
I don't
things
recall
that
what
have
it
happened
was.
anyways.
Would we have to pull a loan of any kind to cover this? Or do we have money that we could draw from here, there, and everywhere to make it happen?
We'll have money. That's part
Okay.
of what those reserves are for that
Okay.
we've been trying to build up. I mean, there's not a ton of money in there. I think 50,000 probably is in.
But we're not
Uh,
going to have to sell a kidney or anything like that to make this happen. Okay.
Sell a kidney?
I'm trying to get in there, but we would just amend the budget like what we normally do if there's not enough in there. But that's what those funds are for. The reserve funds.
So high bid was 266, you say?
269.
269? And what fraction of that would the city be called upon to pay? Or is that a grant?
That's a grant fund. We're going to need that money to cover
Overrun.
overrun, yeah, on the
Okay.
project.
So-
If there's any, I mean,
There will be. It's just a matter of how much.
And what's the best way to mitigate that? As far, I mean, if they obviously have to have those approved of some sort. I mean, what's the best way to mitigate the amount of money that's overrun, whether it's material or a change order or anything like that?
For the most
Unit
part,
prices.
it's already been done.
Okay. Yeah.
And you just kind of have to. Contractors cannot proceed with work not in the scope of work without your guys' approval.
Okay.
So it's not like you're gonna go down there and all of a sudden there's another half block paved and you guys didn't know about it.
Sure.
They have to ask you for that or they don't get paid.
Okay.
I'm satisfied, yes.
So we just need a motion to go ahead with this?
Yeah, I would say a motion to
Except.
accept the
Award, right?
to award the
Yes.
bids as presented.
I'll do that. I make a motion to accept the bid, award the bid as proposed.
Okay, we have a second.
I'll second on that.
Any more discussion?
Do we need a motion to enable the mayor to act independently on that?
I don't think so.
Does your motion cover that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand your question fully.
Well, do we have to, does the mayor have free rein to accept or award a bid?
No, that's
No.
what that's what his motion is, for the council to award the bid to the lowest bidder.
Oh, you said lowest bidder?
Well, I don't know that.
Accept the proposed bid. The proposal that Mr. Marsh,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Has presented to the council. And I believe it is the lowest bid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
we
is.
have to go with lowest
Yeah.
bid,
Yeah.
yeah, or else we'll get in big trouble.
My question was predicated on the observation that the motion allowed us to move forward, but it wasn't clear to me whether it empowered the mayor to act autonomously.
Yeah,
For example, selecting a bid,
we
but if it's
Here.
gonna be the lowest.
Here.
Yeah, the bid's already
ahead.
selected.
Here's what if you want to be specific, the motion could be, I move to award the low bid to J.R. Massey, who is the lowest bid, construction for the Adam Street project.
Simple.
Well, try to be.
Okay, I move to award the lowest bid to J.R. Massey for the Adam Street project.
So you have to withdraw your first motion?
He's just amending it.
I amend my first motion.
okay.
And I will second the amended motion.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have any discussion on the amended motion to award the bid to J.R. Massey for the Adam Street project? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes 4-0. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Steve.
coming down.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for-
much.
Moving forward, who would be the point of contact for the town if
Run the
Let me-
problems.
Yeah, let me give you an example. We find something and it requires a change order. We can't wait 2 weeks for you guys, to
Right.
meet, talk about it. Who would be the point of contact that we can go to the city and say, listen, this is what the issue is. We'll provide our recommendation, whether yes or no. But we cannot approve it because it's not our,
And you can't just sit there and twiddle your thumbs until we.
with 5 guys
Right.
and 5 pieces of equipment.
Exactly.
So, how do you want to proceed with that?
Stephen lives right there. I would honestly give that decision to Nathan.
I think
Are you going to be around, Nathan?
I'm usually not during the day.
Now, what kind of decision now, just so we're crystal clear, if you busy working and something happened, you need to contact somebody, and we have our maintenance personnel out there. You're asking if they can make a decision to say, go ahead, do that, and change that.
Yes. We would provide a recommendation.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be, hey, we encountered. Oh shoot.
Chicken bones.
Yeah.
Taylor
Hey,
Reigns.
we found a car.
Yeah,
This is going to be extra work.
Well, the only person that has the authority to make things that will have a financial impact is the mayor.
Yeah. I would say probably the go-to would honestly be Jerry at this
Okay.
point, and then he can make those appropriate calls. Either if it's something that the maintenance guys can go to, and then to me, or whether Jerry needs to go straight to me.
Okay.
But
That works.
I would say probably Jerry. Jerry's here all day, and I'm not.
Okay.
And then obviously, if it's something major, then I have to figure out a way to get from wherever I'm at to here. You know, if it's an emergency problem,
I'm really hoping those are $500, $700 problems.
Yeah. yeah.
Do we,
If you find a car, we're gonna send our tractor over to pull it out and put it on the side of the road.
Used cars are worth a lot these days.
Yes, they
so
are.
We're not
I
going to
hope
junk.
so.
Yeah.
You always got the
Used
scrap
married
value,
cars.
too.
Yeah.
Peter's got his retirement wrapped up in those.
at this point, do we want to, well, I don't know if it would make any sense. It does some. Do we authorize ahead of time a certain dollar figure if it's under?
To just go ahead with it, you mean?
Correct.
I wouldn't. I mean,
Yeah.
that's, I don't know, unless that's something that's,
Because if something happens,
Well,
you're gonna squabble over $1,500. Say, hell no, we're done. Project's over with. Or what-
well, but you keep. I mean, what constitutes? I mean, you're just going to leave the road halfway ripped up?
Well, no, he said if it's something like five, usually it's a $700 type.
Right, but I'm
no
saying
items.
once you start tearing up the road, your answer has to be yes. right?
Correct. That's what I mean. So
unless we're at a different stage in the,
So they're not
Yeah.
stopped and have to twiddle their thumbs and get a hold, you know.
Right.
I mean, to me, it makes sense on some things, and other, you know, is something we want to entertain, like within a certain amount, and then still contact, so he knows and contact you, and because I don't know what else. There's obviously change orders that are in the business here.
Just accept them as a fact of life, and
You know,
What
what are
has
we
to be
gonna do?
done?
Well, obviously, if it's like a $20,000 fix, well, we might. What do you
rethink
run-
that.
Yes.
Run,
Yeah.
Run into? Do we go down here and go over and over and say, no, we want to redesign it? No, we don't need that water there. You know, I mean,
No,
how
but
would you handle that?
That would be, you end up hitting something $10,000-$15,000, one problem. We will say, stop. Let us go back to our office, try to fix this.
Okay.
So we get that 10 to 15 down to 2 to 3.
Okay.
That's usually how that works.
so I don't know if we need to hash that out right now. I mean, that's something that we can kind of put in place, or maybe we do need to hash that out right now, but
Well, and if
Well, just a
Jerry is your
scenario.
point of contact. I mean, we could go from there.
Yeah.
We have your phone number.
Yeah.
And your email, and you have.
But, you know, like, the only thing is, like Steve brought a good point, is that it's already tore up. I mean, what are you gonna say, no? I mean, can we authorize, you know, up to like $5,000? I mean, and we will know about it, but, I mean, is that gonna kill the project? Probably not. But is it gonna slow things down, trying to get a hold of, and poor Jerry over here is gonna be pulling his hair out.
I keep it short.
We're trying, and then Nathan, you know, I don't know, I'm just trying to make life easy for everybody.
Mhm.
I mean, we already know that there could be overruns, but,
Let's take them one at a time.
Okay.
That's my recommendation. And
yeah, I
if
think we can hash it out.
yeah, I mean, if it's one of those things, I mean, to get from Adams Street to here is what, 3 minutes?
It depends on traffic.
Rush hour or not?
Train.
yeah.
Train.
Trains are the only
Harvest
thing that'll
season,
slow you
it'll be
down.
done.
John Deere tractors.
So, and it's not like they don't necessarily always come to a complete stop. They'll hit this part and go, okay, we need some direction here. Then they'll go work on some other part of the project.
Until it gets.
And
But
Okay.
you are the engineer, right?
I am an engineer. yes.
Okay, I apologize.
No need to.
But, if something's like that, we entrusted you, I mean, if something comes up, you'll be advising them, telling them what,
Yes.
kinda like the project
Yes.
manager.
Yes.
You are.
Yes, I am the first point of contact, or my
Okay.
firm is the first point of contact.
If they have an issue, it'd be something like that, so.
No, we're not gonna expect you guys to fix the problem. That's our job.
Right.
Anything
Well, you
else?
know where I stand, I mean, I
Yep.
let 'em-
Okay. No, it's a,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, probably let's just take it one at a time and see where it takes us.
Sure. I don't think I have anything. I appreciate you coming down again. Appreciate you coming down last meeting, even though I
No,
wasn't here.
On the agenda.
What's that?
One other item on the agenda.
Yeah, that way Steve can take off if he wants to. We only have it's a short meeting, but
thank you guys.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
We appreciate it.
Oh, well, hopefully we'll be sitting here after the project's done going, we still like you, Steve.
Let us know how that swimming pool for Stephen works out.
Yeah.
It, not that it's gonna affect you guys at all. I'm out of the office all next week,
Okay.
so I
Okay.
have someone else gonna be carrying this through the paperwork, so.
And you figure a start date, the next 3 weeks, see, we're in August right now, so first part of September-ish,
That's my guess, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So
We'll know
railroad.
better. I mean, I know Massey's been calling us going, hey, are we ready to start yet? Are we ready to start yet? Because I know they wanna get going, but
Yeah.
there's some paperwork and stuff that needs to happen.
So that's the new parade route for the fall festival?
yeah. Anything else that you know right off the top of your head that we need to do as a city? I mean, they're obviously going to take care of signage, all that stuff. But anything else that we need to do beforehand?
No. No.
Detours or anything, notices to anybody?
They should have a sign plan and
Yeah,
All
yeah,
that.
it's literally the same signs. So
Gas,
that's-
water shut-offs, all that stuff.
Hopefully we don't hit water
yeah.
because we're only going maybe a foot down on the road.
If you're hitting water that shallow, you're in trouble.
So, hopefully that won't be an issue, but you never know.
Okay.
Sounds good, Steve,
I'm
thank
excited
you.
about the
Thanks
possibility
for
of
coming.
No problem. Thank
having
you
it
guys.
done.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Steve.
No problem, guys.
Alrighty. Our twice monthly council meetings. We need to vote on this.
Didn't we already
We
vote on it?
voted on it once.
Well, is the schedule good for y'all?
Oh, gotcha.
Well, but we already agreed to that schedule.
Yeah, twice.
Did
Every
we?
other first and third, or
First, second, and fourth.
Well, we
Yeah,
agreed
second,
to
fourth.
twice a month,
Right.
Yeah.
but I don't, never,
No, it was in the motion that I made. There
Okay.
was second and fourth Wednesday.
Second and fourth Wednesday.
Okay, we're golden then.
Okay.
Um,
I can tell
Jerry
you.
had some of them at the Memorial Hall, but I know we had a little bit of trouble with connectivity and
No, it's more that it's easier, I think, for some people to hear and stuff in here. It's not as echo. We have a space.
gotcha. Okay, we've got space now. At least if we're sitting people over by
Yeah,
the door,
this
they
is
can
roomy
see.
now. Yeah.
So
The one thing that wasn't discussed when we voted on this was why we have the need for 2 meetings a month.
because
No,
we're
we-
running behind, we have a lot of stuff to do, and I don't feel that one meeting per month is sufficient to get things
Keep in
done.
contact and
What are some of the things we have to get done?
I list, my list I have to do, we have land to sell, that needs to go up. We have code enforcement ordinance, we have the credit card ordinance,
Fire truck to
fire
sell.
trucks
fire
still
truck
to sell.
sale,
Snowbird.
I didn't talk to you about that one. but no.
snowbird, water issues,
Mhm.
and then we have maintenance issues to do,
Handbook.
you know, as far as equipment.
Yeah.
Handbook.
Handbook, thank
Still
you.
needs to be finished.
Mm-hmm.
There's
That's
a
just the
pretty
things
good
that came
list
into the
of
start.
things that have been ongoing. I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff on the list that hasn't necessarily been started yet.
Would you-
But just the ongoing stuff, I'd like to get some of those finished up.
Would, I guess, to accommodate Mr. Davenport more, or question-wise, if we get caught up and if we do get caught up and there's nothing going on, are we set in stone? Could we reevaluate this?
You could always,
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
see it happening, but I don't think anybody would have a problem with that.
No, and I think we have a ton of stuff to do regardless. But some of the bigger items, are the ones that I really want to make some progress on. But no, to your point, or Peter, to yours, I mean, if we get into the end of October and we're feeling pretty good and we've got some of these things knocked off the list, yeah, absolutely, we don't have to meet. We can vote to change it back or however that has to work at that time.
Well,
But
and hopefully it should keep the meetings a little bit shorter.
that too.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I'm convinced.
Is it good for you?
Being the only one who voted against it.
Well, no, it's a concern that we all, you know.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, with me working, a lot of these, I can always call in from work if I have to. I can do it remotely.
Oh, you
I
just
don't-
hold it up at the school.
I can find a room. Can find a room. There are plenty of places in there that'll work.
And I mean,
You can
my
find a
personal
key.
opinion going forward, even once I'm out of office here, is to keep on this schedule. I mean, that's obviously something that you guys can hash out then. But
Do you finish
meeting
up in
twice a month, I
November?
feel like keeps the ball rolling a little bit better. There's not as much time in between. I mean, even for me, you guys have heard me stutter and scratch my head, and because I mean, it's even hard for me to keep up to date on a lot of this, and so that would be my recommendation. But
I believe there are a few towns or cities that do meet twice, and I can't off the top of my head, I mean, I'd like to say Sprague, but I could be wrong. And I know there's a couple of them
I
that
think
do.
Davenport needs twice a
Davenport,
month.
I think, is.
And it keeps us a little bit more accountable as a group. Probably David and Justin are the most consistent with their emails. I'm still trying to make sure I actually open this on a regular basis.
That's two
But,
of us there.
When we meet twice a month, there's half the time we can get behind.
Yeah, keeps everybody a little bit in
I'll
check.
remember that.
So, okay.
Do we have anybody from the city, or, like, I know the state, and I don't know if the county does, but like somebody that's watching on our behalf, I mean, the city crew, project oversight type looking, or is that it?
Inspector.
Yeah, kind of watching stuff. I know it's probably, I know when they lay asphalt, they have somebody watching,
Sure.
and do we see a need for that? Kind of?
I think TD&H will have part in that. That's where they'll
Yeah.
come into play, and they'll have,
Somebody on site.
yeah.
Okay.
And I can clear that up to make sure, but that was a question mark. That's what I do for a living. So that's the first thing I thought about was, is there going to be somebody there?
Like if traffic's not working, or, something that the city can do on the spot is what I was thinking.
Sure.
Not,
I don't know of anything that we can do necessarily, but I would think just, obviously they designed the project, so one, just to keep things being built how they were designed to. That's a huge one. Second of all, just as far as materials and other things that happen.
What was the rub with the not a rub with them, but what was the concerns with the railroad?
I think the timing of getting their permit.
There was that, but was there something with that crossing? I think I remember,
I
as
don't,
far as signage or was there something to that, or am I thinking of something else?
just recently.
Well, you guys did a repair or something up there, the city did.
I know we had to
There's an
sign
issue.
some crossing, new signage for the crossings. I don't remember which
Yeah.
ones, but that was
Okay,
before my
maybe.
time. And actually, we just had a,
Well, once we fix this and make it nice, someone's gonna go tear it up again, and then
Yeah.
it's always back and
That's
forth.
the way it goes.
We don't have no moratorium on it, do we? Stephen, no gas and no new water service.
Yeah.
For 5 years.
Not planning on it.
I'm thinking like the trailer park,
Yeah. So, do you need a motion to adjourn then?
yeah.
So moved.
Okay. We have a motion to adjourn at
Se-
5:35.
Second.
We have a second from Peter. Any more discussion?
Aye.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.